And welcome to Chicago Stadium in Chicago, Illinois, where the CBS NBA telecasts begin a new season today, and it's the Houston Rockets against the Chicago Bulls. Two teams that are within range of the lead in their respective division, and Artis Gilmore, the veteran on the free throw line, has missed his first 3 free throws before breaking the ice and has given the Bulls a 1-0 lead. This is Dick Stockton along with Billy Cunningham here. The Houston Rockets are in the dark uniforms, they're red, and the Chicago Bulls in white. As we're underway here. Billy Cunningham, welcome to the NBA on CBS. You work games along with NCAA basketball, and it's good to have you with us. And I just wanted to ask you before we get underway that you were known as the Kangaroo Kid when you played at North Carolina. Did Michael Jordan inherit that moniker?
Inherited? He flew right over the top of me.
Backcourt.
In the backcourt, did we see new faces year in and year out at the guard position? And the question is, do they have quality at the guard position?
Olajuwon gets inside and scores. It used to be just the Michael Jordan show. I guess pretty much it still is, but he has some support now.
Well, he does with Horace Grant, the rookie, and as well as Scottie Pippen, two players I think people really enjoy watching.
John Paxson's been up to date. The starting lineups for the game: Sampson, McCray, and Olajuwon up front for the Rockets, with Allen Leavell and Purvis Short, who was acquired from Golden State, the shooting guard. Charles Oakley, the top rebounder in the league, with the rookie Horace Grant. Artis Gilmore, the veteran, at center, and Michael Jordan in the backcourt with John Paxson. Jordan, who leads the league with an average of nearly 33 a game, coughs the ball up, and here are the Bulls. Great pass, Jordan to Oakley.
It's interesting to start to get out and run in the open court.
Hakeem will work all day. He had the 49-point effort in the playoffs against Seattle and 25 rebounds in a losing effort. Jordan to Oakley, and the Bulls are getting a lot of easy points early here. Allen Leavell, who's been playing under control a lot more this year, hits the jumper.
It's a mismatch there, Jordan. Purvis Short cannot stay with Michael Jordan.
He can hit the jumper, but his problems will be on the defensive end.
Absolutely.
Who's in his 18th year coaching this ball club. And Doug Collins in his second season, and a man you played with and coached.
Yeah, and he still had the ability to become a decent coach. That's scary.
Scored 6 in a row after the Bulls countered 6 straight, and we have a tie game. Any way to stop, not stop, but curtail Michael Jordan?
No, you have to give up something with him. At one point, though, is Michael is taking over the game a little earlier than he has earlier this year. He's looking for his offense.
You look at the Chicago Bulls huddle with Doug Collins, and Bill, you talked about how Michael Jordan is taking the game in his own hands early. He's got a lot of new and different and better support this year.
Absolutely. Two rookies that are standouts. Horace Grant, who we see starting, and shortly coming off the bench, we'll see Scottie Pippen, who has the ability to play 3 spots: the lead guard, off guard, or the small forward position.
What has that given the Bulls, those two new people?
Well, it's just, number one, it's allowed Michael Jordan, who we see, to expand his game. He's more productive for this ball club, moving it, making the passes to his teammates, and concentrate, I think, a little bit more at the defensive end of the court.
There's the shooting so far.
And I would expect, with Michael Jordan having to play short, that I'd have him running off a lot of screens, try to make him work defensively.
Olajuwon wins his way in against Gilmore. No contest there. Leavell has 4 of the 15 Houston points. Basket counts, and he gets the foul as well. Michael Jordan.
Now what we see is Short went topside on this screen, and Jordan, you just cannot gamble defensively with him. You have to play him straight up. Can't give those easy baskets up to Michael Jordan.
Foul is on Short, so they're going to take advantage of the defensive deficiencies of Purvis Short, and we'll see how long Bill Fitch can afford a guy you're going to lose. Hakeem not in good position for the shot, has it blocked behind by Michael Jordan, and that's designed by the Bulls.
To come from the rear to block this shot, and you see Michael
gets it at the corner and knocked away by Jordan. Grant the rebound, outlets to Paxson. Grant really is a good outlet passer. Filling the lane inside is Grant. He's a rookie, huh?
Another example how the big people of the Chicago Bulls are getting out and outrunning the big people of Houston. You can see right there in your picture, Sampson trailing the play defensively. And Horace just throwing it up there. It was a smart play he made, though. First he drew the contact, and then he threw it up, making sure at least he'd get to the foul line.
Foul is on McCray, and there you're looking at the ACC Player of the Year, Horace Grant. 10th pick out of Clemson. Chicago by 12. I think Grant's going to be in the lineup for a long time. And the alley-oop from Sampson to Olajuwon makes the lead 22-17 Chicago. It'll be Chicago ball.
Now there's a fine pass by Sampson finding Olajuwon.
I think so.
Yes, he could have. He could have forced him out on the court, coming around the screen, then allowing him to go back door looking for the lob.
All right. Jordan foul driving to the hoop. And Purvis Short has picked up his second personal foul. Short was acquired for Dave Feidel, a 7-footer. And he's got a reputation of being an outside shooter, but the Bulls are aiming at Short. And here's Jordan with his season's numbers. Scottie Pippen, the other rookie, Bill, you talked about, is getting set to come into the ballgame.
Now, I want you to watch something here, Dick. Watch Michael Jordan's eyes when he shoots the basketball. You're taught as a shooter to keep your eyes on the target, and that target is the rim. Now, just keep an eye on what he does after he releases the ball. Notice the eyes go right up to the basketball. You don't want to teach that. I don't think Doug Collins wants to mention it to him either.
You don't change it, and the shot was perfect, so he made the free throws. And Scottie Pippen has come into the ballgame, which has hampered his play, but he's another good-looking rookie on this team. Short has his shot blocked by Jordan from behind. Oakley drives in on Sampson. He loves this, doesn't he, Ralph? Bringing the ball up, level.
Well, he made a great play. Stayed back defensively.
Under 3 minutes to go in the first period. Sampson. Ralph Sampson into the scoring column. That's his first pass. Olajuwon. Try to force the pass to McCray, and there was Michael Jordan lurking inside. Paxson. Jordan is a defensive player. He takes a lot of pride in that part of the game.
He does. He doesn't want to be considered a one-dimensional player. You know, last year averaging over 37 points a game, you know, everyone looked at him as just an offensive threat. But as we know, anybody in the NBA knows that this young man can play all facets of the game.
Handled inside, but watch Jordan here.
Now watch him trailing out. That's the way you have to play Purvis Short. 3 screens he has to go through, and comes from behind with a great block.
A surprise to you that the Bulls have done as well.
And a surprise to that young man right there, because when you're playing your first 11 out of 17 games on the road, and you have 2
hands of Sparrow, and Reed was one of those players who got off to a late start. Corzine is in the ball game at center for Chicago, and Jordan draws the foul going inside. McCray with Reed. Sampson playing low post against Oakley. But Olajuwon on the bench with 2 fouls. There's the hook shot. And Bill Fitch will say it's not the case, but I think that Sampson plays a lot differently when he's playing the pivot position with Olajuwon out.
He's got more freedom. He can go from box to box, where he's limited to where he shot that last hook shot.
There's a smooth shot by Scottie Pippen, who's averaging over 10 points a game.
Than there really is. You know, maybe this is Ralph Sampson. He's an outstanding player, but he's not going to be what everybody expected him to be.
Level with good penetration.
Now watch this quickness. You know, a rookie mistake. Number one, you try not to allow Allen Leavell to penetrate, and if he does penetrate, push him to his left.
Jordan gets a breather, goes out with 11 points and 5 assists, and Brad Sellers.
Basketball's a team game, but each player has his own moves to make. Sometimes you know you can do it, but sometimes you want somebody else to give it a try. On the court, good moves score points. On the road, a bad move can lose the whole game.
If a driver's been drinking, make your own move. Don't let a drinking driver take you anywhere.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Basketball Association.
You must get easy baskets in this league, and the way you do it is to get out front.
The Bulls are wearing black bands on their jerseys, and that, of course, is in memory of the late Mayor Harold Washington. this is the version of the trap
that Pippen that I think is that he and Jordan are the only two players on this team that can create opportunities for their teammates.
Sampson over Sellers. Ralph Sampson now with his 6th point of the ball game.
Like Oakley, now Sellers, who's a lot thinner and plays a finesse game himself.
Pippen with a bank shot. Scottie Pippen from Central Arkansas, and the town is Hamburg, Arkansas. Leavell with a fancy move down there, and if it weren't for Leavell, the Rockets wouldn't be running it all themselves.
After you just score, they'll hear about that at the timeout.
Peterson blocked the first shot. Pippen misses the second. Good defense inside by the physical Jim Peterson. The clouds that have been hanging over the head of the Houston Rockets occurred when Bill Fitch in a news conference said that Hakeem Olajuwon had been a victim of bad street talk, and people didn't know what that meant, and it turned out to be a problem internally between Reed and Olajuwon. We'll get into that more in a moment. No timeout. Pippen driving and a foul. To continue the story, so rumors began to fly of drug involvement that carried into the Houston practice. Hakeem had actually punched Robert Reed over reports that Reed was spreading rumors. Well, the two have made up and have agreed not to talk about it, and Hakeem held a news conference denying drug use. In fact, he said he put up as much as $50,000 to take the test to prove it. And of course, they're just rumors, and really no one ever said that this was a problem. The league, in fact, says that there's no evidence of that, and anytime anyone puts the flare up of rumors of drugs, all you hear is drugs and Olajuwon, and the fact is it's not true. And unfortunately, we have to report what happened, but there are no evidences of that.
That's right. And what happened, he started out slowly, and the reason he had a problem with his rotator cuff and was not able to get into shape and play the way he'd like to be playing basketball. And you know, there's no league like the NBA for rumors. As you know,
if I hear a rumor that they're going to coach again, I'm going to be very upset.
I will too.
Sampson is fouled by Pippen, and that may go under the classification of a smart foul because Sampson was going in for an easy 2.
Well, we see the pick and roll. Sellers is looking to just give some help here defensively. Fine play by Leavell. Now the player that should have been there to help, Scottie Pippen, should have been over there quicker to give the defensive help to his teammate Sellers.
Pippen's foul is first, and here is Ralph Sampson. He's healthy this year. His attitude has been better.
You know, it's just hard to believe. Just as I commented to start the game, you know, Ralph, there was no emotion on his face. It was just, well, I'm out here, I'm going to run up and down the court. As soon as Olajuwon went to the bench, the life, it was the spark that came into Sampson from that point on.
He seems to shy away from the ball when he's playing power forward, but when he's the guy, he wants the ball and is not afraid to go in and block some shots. Defensively, he's really been terrible, according to some of the Houston people. 7-point lead by the Bulls. Their biggest lead was 12, and Pippen, this is the drive, and there's Sampson aggressively getting terrific court sense.
And what we're seeing is the bench of the Rockets is outperforming the bench of the Bulls.
Sampson now in double figures. He and Leavell lead with 10 apiece, and all this with Hakeem Olajuwon on the bench with 2 personal fouls. Right here on CBS Sports. When Jordan went out, and that was at the end of the period, the Bulls were leading by 12. Their lead has been cut to 5, and Michael is back in there now.
Well, Scottie Pippen looked like a rookie out there with his first appearance here on CBS, and I'm sure he was a little nervous. He was forcing things offensively that weren't there. He didn't show great patience.
Jordan, Reed came out too late.
Now we see Olajuwon in the game, and is he going to be able to pick up where Sampson left off there?
Reed looking for him, and Jordan making it tough. Reed misses. Jordan had a roll of
basketball because his number was called. It was a poor shot.
Jordan knocked the ball away. Bill, let me ask you about the matchup we're seeing right now between Buck Johnson, who was the #1 pick.
The edge to Sellers, you would think inside.
Olajuwon.
Just a fine play by Allen Leavell, penetrating there and finding Olajuwon.
Up the center combo for 4 points from the pivot man. Ball is tipped out of bounds.
This is penetration, aware of where Hakeem is, finds him. Just an outstanding play by Allen Leavell.
We've got nearly 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Jordan double team, gets around Purvis, short, finds Corzine, and it's blocked inside, and we'll have a jump
If he's going down a set of screen, bang him.
Speaking of bang him, there's World Free bangs in a two-pointer. 34 years old, a designated shooter, and he's had some red-hot fourth quarters so far this season.
And World B loves that. Designated shooter.
As soon as he steps on the court. The question is how he'll do defensively. He's right now watching Paxson. Fires it up. And it's going to be Houston opposite Chicago. 3 off the screen, makes it 2 in a row. Well, World cut the lead to 3 right now. They've never had the lead in this game. Purvis short. That's what they got him for from Golden State, and the Bulls lead is 46-43.
All of a sudden, everybody would like to have him transfer, but he stayed there at Central Arkansas and had a great career.
Peterson hits the open jumper, and the Rockets are getting plenty of those in the last couple of
Run in this second period where they were so successful in the first period.
John Paxson hitting one from outside. Do that for them, and the lead again is 5 with 2 minutes to go in the first half. Sloppy play, and here comes Free against 3 Chicago defenders. Offensive foul. And World Free never should have put up a shot against 3 men like that.
Now, what he should have done is just pull up right there and look for that jump shot or wait for a teammate to trail the play. But we see inside to anybody is strictly perimeter.
Jordan, and Oakley can't save it out of bounds. That was why the Chicago Bulls.
I think they gained a little too much confidence playing on the road, thinking that it would be.
This is the follow-up, and here's Sampson. Gilmore and Peterson wound up on the floor. 3 seconds to go. Jordan in the cloud tries to get it to Pippen. He scored. Got the buzzer. Scottie Pippen from Jordan.
There's the outlet pass. World B just stepping in the passing lane. Watch this move by Pippen.
And that's the end of the first half with the Bulls leading the Rockets 54-49. Pat O'Brien will be back after this message.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Basketball Association is sponsored.
Houston played very well in the second period. Their bench was a big factor.
Ralph Sampson, who had a terrible game Thursday against Utah, really has been the lead man for this club today.
Absolutely, and it was when he went to the center position. When Hakeem went to the bench, he came in there and sparked this ball club on the boards as well as offensively.
Well, a fast break point.
Doug Collins again has to be concerned about his second unit not coming in and being productive.
Second and Leavell, when he was in control, looked awfully tough himself.
And he's only averaging 2 turnovers a game so far this season, so he's doing an excellent job handling the basketball.
Leavell and Short in the backcourt. Sampson, Olajuwon, and McCray up front for the Rockets, and Olajuwon has 3 personal fouls. Sampson has 2, and Hakeem goes inside and is pushed. With the basket. He has 16 points in the game and has already surpassed the season's average scoring-wise.
Yeah, and you can't be upset if you're Doug Collins with Gilmore getting called for goaltending. One thing that this team needs is the shot.
That's one of the things that used to keep the coaches awake at night. Short. And Purvis Short hits the jump shot. Short, by the way, missed 48 games last year with injury. I always think something's wrong with him. Jordan to Gilmore, and a foul. Great sense Michael had inside not to challenge Olajuwon.
But the assist, and we saw in the first half he had an assist.
Gilmore was fouled by Hakeem Olajuwon, and the story here is that Hakeem has 4 personal fouls. McCray doubled up, and Jordan steals the ball. Here's Jordan.
Well, Hakeem was smart not trying to contest that shot because he would have picked up his 5th foul.
That's the first one of those we've seen tonight. Hakeem hits from outside, and Olajuwon with 13. Sampson leads the Rockets with 16.
Hakeem stepping out, shooting that jump shot.
Oakley missing outside. Horace Grant, the rookie, gets the basket on the second effort. Well, I'll tell you, when we take a good...
He looks like him. Let's see if he has a career like Bob McAdoo.
Right. Hakeem blocked from behind by Jordan. And it's going to be Houston ball. He's frisky right now, Michael Jordan.
Now, we talk about his jumping ability, everything else, but his quickness is just phenomenal how quick he can drive to the basket and make quick moves.
Bulls by 4 in the crowd, into the ball game more now. Short. Rainbow shot. Here come the Bulls, 4-on-2 break. Now 5 with Grant. It counts. Jordan.
It's almost like Michael Jordan said, it's showtime.
Allen Leavell with the foul. And Michael Jordan, who did not really dominate the first half for the Chicago Bulls, as fans have seen him in his career, has come out like a whiz here in the second period. Timeout, Houston. The key to a great start by the Chicago Bulls this year, but we asked Michael in practice what the Bulls need to go up another notch.
Yeah, it's hard to say that when you're winning now. I think our bench could be a little bit stronger and more consistent. Everybody wants that dominant big man, but it's hard to find that dominant big man out there now. So if we can fulfill the other 4 spots consistently, then I think we still can get over the top.
And what has Michael Jordan meant to basketball in Chicago? Look how the attendance, that's the average attendance, has jumped. He was hurt in his second year, but now they sell out, and they're a standing room only in every game here in Chicago. And of course, he went to the University of North Carolina, Bill, and you know the effects he's had, and you know what kind of a young man he is, better or as well as anyone, I would think.
Oh, quite a young man, and it's hard to believe, you watch him play out here and the things he's done, that this kid got cut off his high school basketball team as a sophomore.
Maybe not the best decision that coach ever made.
Maybe his last pertaining to basketball.
Forcing the timeout. We have 7:40 remaining in the third. Olajuwon gets the roll. Houston does not have a lead. The alley-oop, Jordan, double team, and scores despite Purvis short, right on top of the ball.
The shooting player.
So you don't think Fitch is taking a chance keeping Hakeem in there with 4 as he hits the shot?
No, he's done this.
I wonder if he practiced that play with a
The
shot.
one thing Michael Jordan doesn't need is a little luck, and that's what happens right here. It nips off the rim, and he's right back to him.
And the beat goes on, averaging on the year nearly 33 a game. Last year won the scoring title at 37 points.
Hakeem has struggled at the foul line this year. Last year he shot over 70% from the foul line. This year so far he's about 57%. And the problem they feel is that he had problems with his rotator cuff, and he is not able to extend his arm properly, but he says it feels all right.
Now starting to block shots with either hand. Couldn't do it with both hands for a while. Jordan goes baseline against 3, and a foul. 3, and Roll lays it in. Steal by Allen Leavell at midcourt.
That's a poor decision by Grant, because even if he completed the pass to Oakley, what was he going to do with it?
Olajuwon inside fighting. And it's still Houston ball as Oakley and Grant fight for it. So we're looking at a couple of frisky rookies, and Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen is not in the lineup right now, who are making rookie mistakes, but you can see that they have the court sense and the ability to really grow and become good.
They're active. That's something so important to a basketball player. They're always around the basketball, both of them.
Jordan is not giving Free a chance here. BL is summer league last summer to try to get back in shape and win a job, and here he is. Olajuwon with the jumper. The leading scorer with 19 points for the Rockets.
Yeah, I know Bill Fitch would like to see Hakeem look for that jump shot a little more from the perimeter, but I think it's a little too often.
Jordan, red hot, 26 points, 13 here in this third period. So he's exploded here.
Incomplete.
Not the smoothest game we've seen.
I don't think they'd play tomorrow with that passing.
Free has the shot blocked by Jordan out of bounds. shots by Michael Jordan.
Because it's such a head game that you can lose that confidence. You need that coach's support.
Jordan held Hakeem, had a few words for Jake O'Donnell, then gave him a pat on the back, saying, "You're right, there's a foul." Timeout here in Chicago.
We're talking about the crowds here and the tradition at this stadium. This stadium has a lot of history. Franklin Roosevelt was nominated for president here at a Democratic convention. But I want to show you something. There is no elevator in this stadium, folks. And if you're one of the vendors here and have to lift the beer up, 165-pound kegs, 70 stairs. It may taste great, but I bet they wish it was less filling, don't you think? The downside of this, look, they got to stop and pause. These are strong guys. The downside is if you're drinking that beer, you got to walk back down the stairs. No elevators here.
The other downside is, Pat, they expect the three of us to be carrying those suckers down the stairs.
Why don't you get a head start, Pat? Huh?
I'm going to go get a head start. You're right, guys.
Nice to see you again, Patrick. And back to the game. Hakeem Olajuwon on the line. Scottie Pippen has given Michael Jordan a rest. Jordan goes out with 26 points and has really come on strong here in the third period. And he went out after hitting his last 5 shots. But Hakeem struggling at the line. You pointed out before that shoulder has had an effect.
Now we'll see offensively what the Bulls do with Michael Jordan sitting over there on the bench. Are they going to be able to keep this rhythm and flow that they have going, or are they going to come to a screeching halt?
Last time they came to a screeching halt. Steal by World Free. He got it away from Scottie Pippen, and that's veteran experience against the rookie. Pippen off a screen. Sampson goaltending and gives the basket to Scottie Pippen. There's Jordan on the bench, and the question is, how long can Doug Collins keep him there?
Well, we know when Jordan comes in, especially in the fourth period, we'll see a little different offensive set that these Bulls will run, trying to really get him involved offensively. Get the ball inside, and hopefully, I'm sure Bill Fitch at that timeout spoke to Hakeem is, hey, it's fine to shoot a couple of those jump shots, but we want to get the ball to you in the post.
Turn the ball over as Pippen's pass to Oakley was low and out of bounds, and there's Bill Fitch, who he really deserves that captain video reputation. Awake all night after every game looking at videotapes at 5 in the morning. I know you never do.
That's why I'm sitting over here with you.
Sampson wheels in the hook and the foul. Ralph Sampson,
Now he's learning to play with facing the basket. Before in college and his early pro career, he's been a player playing with his back to the basket.
Fitch says he fills the break better than anyone on the team but Rodney McCray. Nearly his double steal. Out of bounds, Chicago ball. 3. He's made a contribution, 12 points for World Free. Pippen has a screen from Corzine. And Olajuwon with 26, the golden opportunity. Grant from Oakley.
That great dunk at the other end.
Leavell gets the 2 and also the foul, and so they'll end up with a net gain if Allen Leavell can hit the free throws.
Bulls played great in the third period, only increased their lead from halftime by 2 points. And do the Houston Rockets make an adjustment with that man defensively?
Jordan is in the ball game. Comes to the feet. Pippen for the basket. Grant and Jordan. Sellers and Grant playing at the same time. Pippen finds Jordan. Great pass, Scottie Pippen.
That's unusual. It's usually Jordan at the passing end. He received one that time.
Pippen's a rookie, but he has exhibited good court sense from that Hall of Fame game before the year started until now. He knows what to do with the ball.
Very unselfish.
Olajuwon draws the foul. Scottie Pippen. I don't think many people do. Second foul on Pippen. Imagine what the All-Star game is going to be like here in Chicago. It's Chicago Stadium, standing room only, and of course the slam dunk contest, which Michael Jordan will compete in. And
you know, I remember coming in this building not long ago where the fans here in Chicago would root for the opposition and boo the home team. Things have changed in a very short period of time.
3 is guarding Jordan. Michael with 30 points in the game.
Well, the fourth quarter is his, and as soon as he touches the ball or trying to deny the ball to him, you know, this game is going to be history for them.
Hakeem misses the arc shot, selling Rodney McCray, or close to it. Jordan, by the way, has hit his last 7 shots. Grant travels before going up, and Houston on the turnover, trailing by 9.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Basketball Association is sponsored.
Dick Stockton and Billy Cunningham, and let's look at Michael Jordan's breakdown by quarters. The key thing is that he has scored 46% of the Bulls' fourth quarter points this year. So when they need him, he's there. Now, Billy Cunningham asked Doug Collins, who is a pretty good defender in his own right, how he would defend Michael Jordan.
Billy, I'm out with a sprained ankle for the game, but seriously, if I had to play Michael Jordan, the one thing I would not want to do is try to promote any kind of challenge with him. The guy thrives on challenges, and I was sort of like, let him quietly get his without getting everybody else all stirred up. When he is challenged, he gets to another level that I've never seen any other player get to.
Well, Doug Collins was the same way as Michael Jordan as a player. You know, when there was a challenge, he stepped forward and wanted it. But every great player wants that type of challenge, and he just let a sleeping dog sleep.
9-point lead. Buck Johnson goes up, and the basket counts and a foul. Maybe a surprise choice when everyone expected the Houston Rockets to go with a much-needed guard a couple of years ago.
Well, what I'm sure that Houston had to think about was that they wanted to make sure that they got a quality player, and they did not see that quality guard sitting there in the draft, so they went after Johnson.
9.5 remaining. Level now. Chicago back defensively. They're stopping the break nicely on the court. 7 on the shot clock. Hakeem hits the shot. Hakeem has not gone inside offensively at all in this half. He's playing with 4 fouls, but now the lead has been cut to 4, 91-87, and the crowd here getting anxious. And they'll call a foul. Let's see, Olajuwon, and he is slow getting up. And the foul is against Leavell. That's his second. I don't think. Lester Connor is in the game for the first time. Former Golden State Warrior replacing Allen Leavell. Connor really hasn't played in the last year and a half. Buck Johnson. This is inside. Out to World. 3 penetrates. And his foul going in, and a chance for the Rockets to come within 3 points if World Free can hit the free throws. And Scottie Pippen with his 3rd foul. The Bulls with 3 team fouls, and right now Houston with only 1.
Tough position, and now he's asked to come in here and produce. He's cold.
3 hits 2, and it's 92-89. They're not letting the Bulls put the game away.
Going to a little passing game, trying to get some movement. Yeah, he comes across to block this shot, which he does. But when he comes down, it appears he comes down on Peterson's on foot and twists his left ankle.
So I would think with Ralph Sampson, who has scored 19 in the game and had 14 at the half, he now has to handle a lot of the burden the way he did in the second period when the Rockets came back and made a run there. Jordan watched by World Free. He has Oakley as a screen. Baseline. What can you do? Well, I think 3 is fouled by Jordan. 3 fouls on Jordan, and the 4th team foul on the Bulls.
Now here's the good pressure by Free out there on the court. There's the screen. Peterson should have stayed maybe a step longer to give a little bit more help, especially with Oakley out on the court.
Why isn't Bill
This is the point of the game as we put up that graphic on him scoring 46% of it.
A big plus off the bench for the Rockets. Scottie Pippen tries to get it in. It's blocked. The pass is blocked by Buck Johnson. Here is Free. Jordan got him from behind. Free in trouble and loses it to Pippen. That was Michael Jordan now on the offensive end. Feeds inside to Oakley for the basket. And that was vintage Michael Jordan both ends.
Michael Jordan chased World B. Free down and flicked that ball loose.
And fed Oakley. And it's 98-91.
That's a 4-point play. Watch Michael Jordan chase him down, flick it loose. And now they go. Okay, and now we're going to see it go in the other direction. An easy 2 for Oakley.
Meanwhile, the Rockets have brought in Hakeem Olajuwon and Purvis Short in the game, so the two towers both in the lineup along with Purvis Short.
Handful of shots in this period, in this second half.
Johnson with a fake on Pippen. And Jordan gets it away from all, going through a minefield of Rockets, and has it blocked and a foul called against Buck Johnson.
He drew the foul, Grant, but I know that Doug Collins, when they review the film, will say, give it to the guard, let the guard give it back to you, and then take it to the basket.
Now with the confusion, Bill, I think we may have it solved. Houston took it out of bounds. Horace Grant, who's got a very impressive brother at the University of Oklahoma, Harvey.
Harvey with a good chance of being a #1 pick this year in the draft.
This fellow, as we said, looks a lot like young Bob McAdoo, the Atlantic Coast Conference Player of the Year last year. Hits the free throws, and it's 100-92 Chicago. Short, smothered by Jordan. Hakeem. Last 2 shots for Hakeem are hardly impressive, and a foul inside, and Houston will get a chance now. Grant has picked up his 4th foul. Those videotapes keeping him up all night. Or maybe it's the Chinese food, I don't know. Maybe sometimes Ralph keeps him awake at night.
Oh, I'm sure.
Basketball is fun here in the Windy City. Short coming off the screen, way off the mark. Keeping it alive is McCray, and he's fouled and will shoot a pair. So defensively, when they put the pressure on, and Horace Grant has picked up number 5.
Allen Leavell can pick up Paxson if he's going to handle the basketball and put some defensive pressure. Now, what I would expect, though, Chicago to do is to get the ball into Michael Jordan. Let him bring it down and get the offense started.
Is that where that 46% of that offense?
Yeah. Just clearing and isolating Jordan.
Goes in, slices the defense and scores, and the lead is 10. Two-man game between Purvis Short and Hakeem. And he'll go to the line and shoot as he's fouled.
Now, Jordan's going to come off the good screen set by Grant to watch Grant clear. This is where somebody's got to talk to McCray, let him.
The foul was on Corzine. Michael Jordan with his production here in the 4th period, and Hakeem. Of 9 at the line for Olajuwon.
I think he's got to put a little bit more than that on, at least to make it difficult for Paxson to make that easy pass to Michael Jordan.
Under 2 minutes to go. Jordan just using the clock. They got 7 on the 24-second. And Michael hits a jumper. 38 points for Michael Jordan, and he has passed his season's average.
Rodney McCray played perfect defense against Michael Jordan. Stopped the penetration, forced that jump shot.
Olajuwon hits a jumper. He was ice cold for a while, but it's a treadmill for the Houston Rockets, it seems, in this ball game, down by 8 points.
Yeah, Houston's got to get after the Bulls.
That's the first time.
Now, watch this defense, how McCray moves his feet and beats Jordan to the spot, doesn't allow the penetration, stays down, forces that, and he also gets help from Allen Leavell. Now, what Jordan's going to do is hold that ball out there for probably 17, 18 seconds, wind it down to maybe 5-6 on the 24-second clock.
He gets by McCray and gets inside, and the ball knocked away, and it's going to be Rockets ball. Jake O'Donnell tantalized Purvis Short. Otis Wilson will be going to San Francisco when the Bears play the 49ers. That's a Monday night game. Goes for 3 and hits it. Allen Leavell now with 15 points in the ball game, and with a minute to go, it's a 5-point game.
Good job by Bill Fitch setting up that play.
Trap defense by the Rockets. 12 on the shot clock. 48 seconds. There it is. 9 on the shot clock. Jordan gets the basket, cutting away, and a timeout. Rockets. That was one basket that Doug Collins wanted, and Bill Fitch hung his big basket for Chicago.
Both coaches have to be happy with the execution of the two plays after the timeout. Now the problem here, where is the weak side help? Sampson didn't come to give that weak side help. Tough play from McCray to defend off that screen.
And 40 points in the ball game for Michael Jordan, who has scored the Bulls' last 6 points. Houston has challenged and pecked away all afternoon, but they haven't been able to climb the summit. And now, Will, a 7-point lead with 44 seconds to go in the game, and it's got to be frustrating for the Rockets, who have had countless chances to cut it down and sustain it, but they haven't been able to manage.
Yeah, it sure has. It has to be. And the big thing is the Michael Jordan show here in the fourth period. Some way he's been involved in everything offensively. Now the thing is, coming out of this timeout, do they go to the same play looking for the three-point shot, or do they look to get it in and get the quick basket right away? They have to put some pressure somewhere. You know, Bill Fitch's teams are not what you would call the zone trapping teams. You won't see that. Maybe we'll see a little bit more of pressure man-to-man defensively, and maybe go double-team Jordan, force him to give it up. Maybe they can step into the passing lane and steal the ball, but they're going to have to do something.
You don't want that from your top scorer. Here comes McCray, feeds off to Olajuwon, and Hakeem hits. 31 points for Olajuwon, and here comes full-court pressure by Houston. In the hands of Michael Jordan.
Yeah, and they're just going to have to double him.
Still have 1 foul to give. 13 on the shot clock. And the foul finally is called with 22 seconds to go. They double Corzine. Feeds Jordan. Smart move by Michael.
Now you got to use the clock.
And a foul, and Jordan will go to the line and shoot a pair with 13 seconds remaining.
4 foul shots, and they've got to call a timeout and hit a 3.
Well, you're looking at the guy who is our Miller Lite player of the game, Michael Jordan. That's what he has accomplished today. Miller is proud to present a check for $1,000 to the Multiple Sclerosis Society on behalf of Michael Jordan, who was 9 for 9 from the free throw line, 16 of 28 from the field.
Not a bad week's work.
For a lot of people. Timeout, Houston. And the lead is 7 with 13 seconds to go. Period. He has scored 16 of his 42 points here in the final period. That's 16, Bill, of the 25 scored by Chicago. No surprise.
No, he's over his average so far this season in the fourth period, because he was averaging, 46% of the team's points in the fourth period. Now he's over 50.
Plus, he scored the last 8 points. So every time Houston really tried to make a challenge, Michael Jordan had the answer, and that simply has been the story of this game. You know, the Rockets haven't played all that badly, and Ralph Sampson had a good game with 20, and Olajuwon had 31 despite a cold spell, and the Towers did their job today.
Did their job. They played hard. I thought they did a good job overall defensively.
Leavell misses a 3, and Reed keeps it going. Leavell again for 3. Rebound by Jordan, and he'll have a chance to add to his total. He'll go to the line with 3 seconds to go in this ball game. So,
but to add on the point about John,
that's the Rockets story. For the Chicago Bulls, Billy, another victory. They'll go 14-6, and that is a big start for them. That they went into the game in a virtual tie with the Pistons for first place in the Central Division. So Pistons play the Knicks tonight, and Chicago will have a small lead going into tonight's play. What about the Bulls' play overall?
Bulls still, I feel they cannot rely on Michael Jordan as much as they've had to today throughout the game offensively, either to score for himself or to create for others. They're going to have to, it almost looks like they stand around and wait for Michael to do it all. They're going to have to all get in there and contribute offensively.
And on Doug Collins' daughter Kelly's 10th birthday, a victory for the Chicago Bulls here at the stadium. There's the horn, and that's the end of the ball game. NFL tomorrow. It all begins at 12:30 with the NFL today. Once again, the final score, the Chicago Bulls 112, the Houston Rockets 103.